Okay. Have I told everybody about my salmon dinner?
Hi, and welcome to Good Vibes FC. I'm Lynn I'm sorry. Marley is upstairs, literally moving around furniture. He's like redecorating, apparently. But I'm Lynn Biondolo, coming to you from cloudy Seattle, Washington.
Oh my goodness. I'm Sam Ewis. I'm coming to you from the Women's Game World Headquarters in Vermont. Good Vibes FC is presented by our great friends at Olipop. Use code TWG20 for 20% off at drinkolipop.com. Today on the podcast, we're recapping all the fun we had in Seattle at our live show, and then all the fun I had alone in Kansas City this past weekend. I am so happy to be home. I'll tell you all about it. We'll also get into all the other NWSL matches that I shockingly wasn't at in person this weekend, and then we'll answer a fan question about road trips. But first, Lynn, how are you feeling today? You are in my guest bedroom in your house.
I know. Well, first of all, how did you like the people who don't know? Sam used to come and visit and sleep on my futon, which was a cheap futon from Amazon, but loved it. And so did my mom. Both of you have said that it's like the best sleep you've ever gotten.
Yeah, it was like so nice, but like I could feel the wooden slats beneath through the mattress. Like, and it would just, I almost think it would like straighten out my back a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so when we moved here, Marley was like, we got to get rid of that ugly thing. So we got a new couch, but it folds out into like a bed. Mm-hmm. So how was it?
It honestly, like, it was solid. No complaints. It's not about to get the kind of rave reviews that the futon used to get, because it's not as mystifying. Like, yeah, it was a solid, like, I slept great. But it's just like that futon like was kind of a piece of junk.
Yeah, it is.
And I like have never slept better.
Should I put the futon on like eBay? Like somebody should bid on it. Like we still have it.
I'll bid on it.
It is mystifying. Like I don't get it, but I loved having here. I miss you already.
I know. I miss you too. I loved being there. Lynn and I went out for some very special treats, pastries.
Did you like the Queen Amman?
Yes, I got the Queen Amman that Lynn has been ranting and raving about on this show from this very special bakery in Seattle, and I loved it so much. It was absolutely delicious.
Well, what else did you like? Tell me more.
Well, I also got a cinnamon sugar pretzel.
That was so good.
That was so good.
And you got a salmon bagel.
And I got a lox bagel.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was incredible.
Would you go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to find
Seattle had really great food. We are obviously talking about all of this time that we spent together because, as everybody who listens to this podcast knows, we did a live show in Seattle last week. Becky was there too. I got to sleep on the guest bed. I got to have the lox bagel. And then we did our freaking live show, Lynn. What did you think of the live show?
I loved it. I want us to do more. Every guest that we talked to was great. Every person I talked to about the show said they had a great time. I got back from the show into the facility the next day, and everybody said they had a great time. And one of our trainers said, "You guys really have something going. You should take this on the road." And I was like, "Yeah, I think we should."
I think we should too. I love that. I do want to give these listeners, just in case some of them weren't there at the show, sadly, some behind the scenes stories from things that went on at the live show. Starting with the hat story. So basically, everybody, Lynn, Becky, and I went to the venue a little bit early. This was last week. We were going to take some pictures in our new merch that we had made for the show. We got a tote bag that's very cool. There's a new hat, and we're going to do some photos, in the merch. I started bragging about how good I look in hats, which is new. It's like I didn't wear hats for 31 years, and then all of a sudden I turned 32, and all of a sudden I thought I looked really good in hats. I think I just like figured out my hair needs to be in like a loose low ponytail, and you have some pieces out at the front, and I thought it looked good.
It does.
But my hair was down because we had a live show. So I had my hair down, and I'm trying to have this hat on. And lo and behold, it doesn't look good on me. Everybody, there's like 6 women there trying to like tell me how to fix my hair and how to fix my ears and how to fix the hat. And the photographer literally looked at me and started going, if you're just listening to this on audio, she's like waving and pointing at me and being like, you just need to fix. And she like couldn't tell me what to fix.
You just need to fix. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And she's very, very sweet. So I knew something was wrong because otherwise she would have just let it slide if something really wasn't wrong. And so I was just humbled, like deeply humbled that like, be careful what you brag about because you might be wrong. And everybody might laugh at you.
Here's the thing. You do look good in hats. It's just your hair was down and your ears were sticking out. So in the pictures, it was like your ears were the center of attention. And then you wanted to fix it by putting your hair in a low bun. And it was like, it looks good like that, but not for the shoot. Like you can't have your hair like that if you're trying to sell the hat.
I hear you. That turned into like a really great bit.
It was so funny.
It was part of the show. It was hilarious. And there are a few other like really funny moments that I do want to share behind the scenes, Lynn. The other one being our walkout song, which I don't actually know if you were even really consulted about this.
I wasn't, but I liked it.
Okay. Do you remember what it was?
No.
Okay. This is actually, it's our Olipop Gut Check of the week because it's so important.
Oh, okay. Got mine. First of all, this is my new favorite flavor.
Oh,
apple crisp.
Apple.
Crisp apple. You didn't even cheers me.
Some
What the heck?
those words. I'm having a punch tropical.
Cheers.
Tink. Did you get my joke?
Yeah, I did.
Literally, like, all right.
I just started I got it after.
How is anybody supposed to be funny around here when my friends literally don't even get my jokes?
I just got it after. I had to think about it.
All right. So very early on in the planning stages of the live show, our producer goes, what do you want the walkout song to be? And I said, Good Vibrations. Obviously, that's like the podcast is called Good Vibes. I think it's like naturally we should go walk out to Good Vibrations. Yeah. The Olipop Gut Check of the week, Lynn, is what song do you think I'm talking about when I say Good Vibrations? Sing it.
That's a good vibe. It's like a slower one. Like good vibrations.
It's time for Good Vibrations. Right?
It's a hey.
Yes, by Marky Mark.
Yeah, what did we walk out to?
That's what we walked out to. But I was in the venue before, and they were playing some other random song that had the word Good Vibrations in it that I've never heard before in my life. They were playing a song by the Beach Boys.
Can you play it for me right now?
Yeah, I'll try. Okay. Can you hear this?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, right?
No, that's not it.
You were wanting Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I completely agree. So I had to then like scramble, go to the producer and be like, that's the wrong Good Vibrations. Like, what are you guys thinking?
They wanted to post the other one originally?
They wanted us to walk out to the Beach Boys.
Were we born in the 70s? No.
I know. Okay, everybody, this is a segment. I could rant and ramble on about this for literally so long. When I say Good Vibrations, what song do you think I'm talking about? Good Vibrations by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch or Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys? Please let me know. This is our Olipop Gut Check of the week.
And why is it Marky Mark? Because that's the only right answer.
That's exactly, Lynn. Literally exactly. I also have to tack on another favorite segment right on top of the Olipop Gut Check of the week. Yes. And that is Under a Rock. Because in the aftermath of this whole debacle, I did some research about Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Do you know that Marky Mark is Mark Wahlberg? Because I literally had no idea. Mark Wahlberg sings that song, Good Vibration.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Wait. For some reason,
Wahlberg.
Yeah, I know who that is.
And I have heard people call him Marky Mark, but I thought that was just like a joke. I thought it was just like, it's a nickname.
For some reason, I feel like I vaguely know that. Like somewhere in the back of my brain, it's like locked away in a vault where I know that information, but it's still shocking.
It rocked me to my core today.
Does he have any other songs that we would know?
I don't think so.
He's just a one-hit wonder?
Well, there are other songs. I just don't think any of them had the kind of cultural impact that Good Vibrations had.
Is it because he added the Funky Bunch?
Maybe he lost the Funky Bunch and he couldn't make any more hits without them. I don't know.
Shocking. So that's also our just Under a Rock, I guess.
Yeah, that one, Under a Rock, is not sponsored yet. But pretty much anybody could sponsor it. So if you're interested, hit us up. Send me an email, womensgamemib@manavillage.com.
Do you think we can come up with a song?
Here's another inside scoop from the live show. I sang my favorite song. Lynn did not. Becky did not.
That's because mine was Lil Baby. It's a rapper and inappropriate.
Well, I have a lot of confidence in myself that I could come up with a great song, Lynn. But I do not know if you would have my back or not.
All right. Well, this segment turned into something nasty.
Absolutely nasty. I think we could come up with a song. I do.
Same. Let's think about it and then play it.
Who's the headliner, me or you, and who's the band?
I feel like you're the headliner. I do feel that, but I also can't play an instrument, so I can't be a part of the band.
You could play the tambourine,
just off on the side.
Yeah, I think you could figure that one out. You have good rhythm.
I do.
We did sing karaoke after your wedding.
We did, and that was fun. I had a great time doing that.
That was borderline incredible.
Better than the wedding. Borderline better than the wedding.
Well, I wouldn't say better than the wedding, but it made it a best wedding ever. You know what I mean?
We should go back.
We should go back. I'm afraid that we have to move on and get ourselves back on track here.
Unfortunately.
If you have stuck with us for this long, don't worry. The rest of the show will be just as chaotic. Lynn, let's go back to the live show. A bunch of your teammates were there. Were you nervous to perform in front of your teammates and friends?
No, I wasn't at all. I actually don't feel like I was that nervous at all. Like, I thought I was going to be way more nervous. We obviously did like a run through of the show before we went on and did it. And I was more nervous for that than when people were out there. And it's probably because if people don't know, the way that me, Becky, and Sam think and come to the podcast and come to the show is very different. And I kind of just show up and don't read the scripts because I feel like I can think of things and like I'm better like off the cuff. Off the cuff? Is that right?
Yeah.
Off the cuff. And so it got to a part where it was like, Lynn, I have a line. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read right now. And I just wasn't expecting that. So I'm happy we did the practice. And then I feel like I talk a lot at practice anyway. So they hear me talk all the time. So I was like, this is nothing new for them.
I know. I think that's so great. I feel like the show went so smoothly. What was your favorite part?
The ad-libs in the show, I think, were my favorite parts. Where
like just the times we went off the cuff?
Shocker.
Like the heart hands thing?
The heart hands I thought was hilarious. Us talking about the hat that wasn't in the show was hilarious. Getting to talk to Laura about her reason why she wanted to do Traders and kind of like that whole story I thought was hilarious as well. What were your favorite parts?
Well, honestly, my favorite part, I think, was the inbox.
Oh, I love that too.
When the fans came to the microphone, how brave of them, asked us a question, and then a few of them I made stand up there and answer our questions back. And they were a huge part of the show, and it was so funny and so great.
I love that. How about the one part where I answered the question and I was like, you know? And she was like, I actually don't know because I'm not a professional soccer player. I thought that was so funny.
I know. The people who did that were incredible, and I really, really loved that part. I know if you haven't seen the show yet, it might feel like we're doing that thing where we like talk about inside jokes without you, but you can watch the show because it is available on YouTube, and I highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun to make, and I hope that everybody who was there and everybody who's listened back really enjoys it. And a huge thank you to Olipop for making the whole thing possible. Obviously, Lynn, the whole reason for the show was to get together and preview the Cascadia Rivalry game that happened over the weekend, Seattle versus Portland. How did you feel going into that game? Did the rivalry of it all make it feel like more intense than a regular game?
I think a little bit. I mean, we said this on the podcast, but I feel like I personally hate Portland, like being in Seattle or not. So for me personally, I was like, oh, you always get up to play Portland. And so to be in Seattle playing them, I guess, yeah, sure, it was like another added layer, but I felt good about it. I thought that the team looked good in training leading up to that moment, and like the energy in the locker room was amazing. And then when we were warming up, everybody looked really sharp and on top of it. So I had a good feeling about it, and we won. Go us. Go us.
I know. I was there in person. I loved being there. And you know who I was really impressed with? Your teammate, rookie, Maddie Darlene.
I know. Isn't she good?
She was so good. I thought that she was like so great 1v1. She looked really sharp. She was really effective for your team, and she ended up scoring what would be the game-winning goal. Seattle won the game 1-0, which, Lynn, you assisted that goal, and with that assist, you became tied for most all-time assists in the league. Did you even know about that record? How does it feel to be right up there at the top?
I didn't know about the record until the end of the game. I said this in like an interview after the game, but obviously it's amazing like when you look at the stats, and you know this, like I've never played to like be at the top of like the goal scoring or assist record. Like I just play because I love it and I want to win games, and obviously I want to be able to like help my team in any way. So if that's providing the assist, if that's providing the goal, if that's like tracking back on defense, if that's what I have to do to hopefully help win the game, that's what I'll do. So sure, it's like very exciting, but at the same time I'm just more excited that we won.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, you were there in person. It wasn't the prettiest game by any means, especially on our part. My question to you, to go back a little bit, is did you end up wearing Becky's scarf?
No.
That's right. You've heard it here first.
Becky Sauerbrunn, angel that she is, brought me a scarf, a Portland Thorns Becky Sauerbrunn scarf to the live show. And she gave it to me on stage in front of everybody. But I was also gifted a Seattle Reign jersey, and I wore that.
And I feel like that was the right choice.
I feel like it was the right choice too.
It might have been a little bit different if Becky was playing, but when she's not playing, like, you can't possibly wear that.
Precisely. You said it, not me. The game was really great, and I was happy to see Seattle win. I feel like Good Vibes Live brought a little bit of extra luck to the Reign.
And a lot of people came out. It was so great to like see the fans afterwards and like connect with them. Like people who went to the show and then came to the game. Like I thought that was a really cool aspect of the weekend and the rivalry. So all in all, I thought that it was a win in my book.
It was a big win for Good Vibes, a big win for the women's game, a big win for Seattle Reign, and a big win for Sammy Media.
Yeah, you were everywhere.
I know. We're going to talk more about that. I actually have to ask you a question about that. We need to take a really quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear all about Sammy Media's weekend, the rest of the NWSL this weekend, and a very surprising result from Orlando. So don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. So as we have been alluding to, I went to 2 NWSL games this weekend. Sammy Media, I don't know if I should be embarrassed. Lynn, do you know the meme of Rob Lowe with the NFL hat on and everybody kind of makes fun of him because it's like, why are you out here just cheering for the league? Like, get some loyalty. Like, you need to commit to one team. I have like 5 jerseys from teams this year, and I'm just like getting a little bit self-conscious. Like, do I need to stop?
I mean, you deserve them all. Like, you're not just anybody getting a jersey. Like, you deserve them. But at the same time, it's like...
thank you. I mean, that's so nice. But it's just like, am I the NWSL's biggest fan? Like, just as a league, like, why do I not, like, do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I think if pressed, I would cheer for the Courage, just out of my own self-loyalty to my career.
Fine,
but
whatever.
Of course I'm cheering for you. But I'm also kind of cheering for Gotham. I'm also kind of cheering, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, now we're getting back into it. It's like, now it's like, yeah, I'm just spreading myself out, sharing the love.
I think that's great that you support the league.
I support the league. I am Rob Lowe. I need an NWSL baseball hat.
All right. Well, apparently not, because you're not good in hats.
I was just going to say, that would actually cover a lot of ground for jokes.
We should get you a hat that says NWSL biggest supporter.
I think it should just say NWSL, and it's just like, this girl just loves the league. Okay, anyways, as we've mentioned, I went to the Kansas City versus Houston game in Kansas City. Lynn, I actually did some sideline reporting for Ion. I am just out here, Sammy Media, flexing some new muscles. TV is very different from podcasting. I didn't make as many jokes as I make on here. I was nervous, especially because for a minute we were like having some technical difficulties. But I also want to say I do really appreciate the opportunity. I know, like, you know, they just let me do it. And I'm sure that a lot of people like want to do that job. So I am super grateful. But I will say, I will be honest with all of our listeners. I also just love doing a podcast in my sweatpants at my house.
I mean, you looked great.
I looked okay. I did my makeup on the plane. You know, it's just...
You could do it anyway. It was just so funny because I texted you being like, are you on your way home? And I forgot that you were stopping off in Kansas City. I completely forgot about that. And then I saw you on the TV and I was like, oh my gosh, she's in Kansas City. But I thought you were great.
So did you hear me do it? What did you think?
Yeah,
How did
I watched the whole thing. I made Marley stop talking on the phone just so I could listen to you.
And?
I thought you did great. I thought that your points were valid and really insightful. And I felt like it was like a fresh new take on the game.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I thought you did great. You should
Thanks,
do it again
Lynn.
if you want. Just if you want.
Yeah. You know what?
But if you don't want, we could just do this podcast forever. We're taking ourselves on the road.
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm open to whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe I could be a couch reporter. I think that's what a podcaster is, though. I think that's literally what I'm doing.
All right, so you have your dream job. Great. I'm happy that we covered that. I'm happy we got that covered.
Let me practice my sideline reporting. I thought it was a professional win from Kansas City. They scored 2 goals on set pieces. One was a PK from Lola Bonta. One was a header from Kayla Sharples off a corner kick. And with that win, Kansas City broke the NWSL win streak record with 9 consecutive regular season wins. This is my other thing, Lynn. I felt like Houston actually did a decent job. They played pretty conservatively. And obviously, that's in part just due to Kansas City's really great counterattack, especially Temwa Chewinga. And I think that even though Temwa didn't score a goal in this game or necessarily create as many chances as she maybe usually does, her presence on the field was so noticeable because Houston were so clearly so aware of her that they weren't really sending that many numbers forward and they couldn't really create much of an attack for their own side. So I think what stood out to me was Kansas City's ability to adapt to playing a really conservative team. They ended up scoring on 2 set pieces, a penalty kick and off of a corner kick. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that versatility and adaptability from Kansas City and maybe your experience with that.
Yeah, I feel like Kansas City is one of the most veteran teams right now, but also one of the most dynamic / has the most depth on their team. And I think that their ability to recognize that what they're good at. So they're really good in transition. They don't overplay most of the time. They're we can kick it up and Chewing is going to get it and score. Or you'll have Dabina who's going to pass her the ball and do something crazy and score. But when they're playing Houston, like you said, Houston dropped off and was we're not going to give you the space in behind. And I think that that's where them being a little bit more veteran than I think we see teams right now has come in handy, and their ability to recognize that and say, okay, what are we going to do to adapt? I do think that it took them longer to figure it out than normal, so hats off to Houston on that. I mean, at the end of the day, they still lost, but I do think that maybe other teams are now going to look at that and say, okay, can we maybe do something similar to Houston? But I think that this does remind me of when we were in North Carolina a bit, where at the time we had you, me, Jess, Dabinia, Crystal, and I remember us saying okay, you can stop one, but you can't stop us all. So if Jess is having the best game, we're going to try to stop Jess McDonald, but you're not going to stop Lynn, Crystal, Dabinia, Sam, Denise O'Sullivan, all of these people. And that's how I feel about Kansas City, where it's okay, can we stop Temwa Chewinga? Sure, but you're also not going to stop Kayla Sharples
also
and
Deb, and then
Dabinia.
Also not give up a penalty kick, and then also not give up a corner kick. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that is what they have going for them. They just are so talented right now, and I'm interested to see how this season goes for them, because last year we saw them being such a dynamic and powerhouse going forward, but obviously they were susceptible to goals, and they seem to really have locked that down. So
yeah,
hopefully Seattle can do it.
I know, and I completely agree. I think that one of the reasons why their defense feels more locked down is just simply because teams are trying harder to stop them from scoring so many goals. Houston's attack was really unable to get started. They had a couple of moments early on in the game where Messiah Bright or Yasmin Ryan would almost get in, but they just couldn't send any numbers forward. And so I think that Kansas City's ability to be professional about that and not get frustrated that they weren't getting following their game plan by getting counterattacks. They just kept playing. They put numbers around the box. They earned a penalty kick. They earned a corner kick. They scored off of them. It also kind of reminds me of the national team when we would play opponents who would just kind of pack it in. And I don't think Houston necessarily packed it in by any means, but when the opponent takes away your ability to combine in the middle and play with any kind of space and move the ball effectively into dangerous areas, you have to be patient and you have to capitalize on the moments that you get, which oftentimes are set pieces. And so I just really wanted to credit Kansas City with that. I keep saying a professional win, but they're going to have games that they win 6-0, and then they're going to have games that they have to grind through because a team is keeping numbers behind the ball. And I was just really impressed with the way that they came away with it and kind of, overcame a new kind of style of defense, and they were just like fine with it.
I completely agree. Like I said, though, I think that it's going to be interesting going forward if teams now look at what Houston did and say, can we do that, but make it a little bit more sharper? Is this like the first? Because I think that Houston held them and kind of.
Houston did kind of good at keeping Kansas City from scoring a lot of goals.
But like you said, when it comes to the national team, teams would sit in, again, I'm not saying Houston sat in, but then they would have one outlet pass. But it's 1v4. And so you're the opportunities are so much fewer. So I'm just interested, but I agree. I think Kansas City put on a very veteran performance this past weekend. And like I said, I think it's going to be a fun season watching them, but I also am excited to see how teams stack up against them and how everybody starts to adapt and figure them out.
Well, Kansas City is the only remaining undefeated team, so I definitely will have a target on their backs. There were a couple other games from this weekend that we should touch on. I was not at any more games, just I could only make it to the 2. But Gotham had a really big win over Angel City. It was 4-0 thanks to another brace from Esther, who now has 4 goals on the season. That's 2 wins in a row for Gotham. They've shot up into 4th place. And in great news for them, Midge Purce is also back after missing 2024 due to her ACL injury. She's looking really sharp. She looks ready to help Gotham find their groove, stay at the top of the table. Lynn, I wanted to ask you about how Midge might be feeling right now, coming back after a long injury. She looks really, really sharp. What do you think is going on in Midge's mind?
Yeah, well, I actually watched her do an interview with somebody else. Sorry, I don't remember the interview, what was happening. But
if it wasn't Sammy Media and it wasn't the women's game, then
who was
doesn't
it?
exist to me. No, I'm just kidding.
But she said something to the extent of, she was talking to Allie Krieger, and Allie said to her, "You're going to come back better than you were before." And Midge said, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "You're just going to come back better. That's what happens, is you've gone through so much with your ACL and trying to come back. And that's the hardest part, that when you get there, you find so much joy in it."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I see when I watch her play right now, is that she looks like she's just having so much joy. She looks comfortable on the ball. I think that, we both know this, that when you are taken away from the game, you had this new perspective of being able to just play and enjoying those moments. And I also think that once you get over that mental hurdle of the injury itself, everything else is a breeze, because rehab sucks, and rehab is so hard. It's arguably harder than anything else.
You're so right.
Awful.
It's she's not doing rehab. She's out there megging people. Of course it's fun. Of course she's doing great and enjoying it. It's so much better than what she's been doing for the past year.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I felt when I came back from my hamstring. I was like, oh, we're so free. And then you just go outside and you're like, I'm outside with a soccer ball and my friends. It's the little things that make you feel so much joy. So then she gets out on the pitch and she's like, breeze. I've been running so much with the trainer. This is a breeze.
I know. That's amazing. Well, she's definitely ready to help Gotham. We do need to talk about Angel City, though. This was Angel City's first loss of the season. It was a pretty disappointing performance. It was at home for them, too. Losing 4-0 at home, never a good feeling. But Angel City did finally announce their new head coach, Alexander Strauss, coming from Bayern Munich. He's won the Bundesliga twice. He's going to join Angel City on June 1st. And I was thinking about this, and I feel like Angel City fans going into this weekend, they were unbeaten in their first 4 games. Maybe they were a little bit apprehensive about a new coach. You don't want, your team's doing great. You don't want a new coach to come in and disrupt anything. But then I kind of think after they lost 4-0, they're probably like, oh, dang, okay, we're ready for the new coach now. And I just think there's nothing like losing 4-0 at home to make you ready for some kind of a shift.
Yes, I also agree. Something else I found interesting, though, was that Alyssa, who is their main threat right now, wasn't out there. Alyssa Thompson was not out there right now. And her sister played in her position, who is naturally a outside back. So I think that, Alyssa Thompson is so young, but but she attracts so much attention as well. Her ability to just like get on the ball and go at you, and she's so speedy that I just wonder if Giselle, her sister, playing out of position, obviously it takes a second, and also that attention, maybe that has something to do with it. But to your point, I think that if there was a time that if they wanted a new coach, it's after a 4-0 loss.
I guess I don't think it's crazy to use Giselle as a winger because she does play out wide. Of course, she has more defensive tendencies, but like especially on the national team, the few times we've seen her, she can get into those high positions and attack up the field. But I think when you consider that Giselle then wasn't in her normal position, somebody else was, like the whole team shifted around. And I think, they're up against a Gotham team that had a great game, and it's tough. I'm not saying, that Angel City's run of good form is over by any means, but I just think that a loss like that at home has got to really like sting, especially when everybody thought they were like on the up and doing so great, like such a reality check kind of that. I kind of feel like attention is shifting back to, oh yeah, we have an interim head coach and we have a really young team and we haven't had the success in the past couple of years. So I just think their like narrative shifted a little bit.
You hit it on the head with like, they're a young team and they haven't been in this position before. And I think that also plays into it too. Like, they are so young. The ability to stay at the top and stay performing well is hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think that, you see a Kansas City, you see an Orlando, and you're like, oh my gosh. No, those are like historic and like not normal things to be doing. And especially in this league, you see the last place team beat the first place team all the time. Now, do you want a 4-0 loss? Of course not. But I do think that there is a bit of like ebb and flows of learning when you are young, and also not just young, but they are still new to the league. This is their 4th year, and the past 3 years haven't been amazing. They have been horrible. They haven't been amazing. So I just think that's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, it's just like growing pains. Okay, the other really big game was between Orlando and the Spirit. An extremely depleted Washington Spirit was able to beat Orlando 1-0 thanks to a goal from Gift Monday. I actually literally don't know how the Spirit did this. I saw their availability report. They were without Trinity Rodman, Croy Bethune, Hal Hirschfeld, Casey Kruger, Ule Sarr, Andy Sullivan. The list goes on. Plus, Ashley Hatch, who's the leading goal scorer for the team this season, had to sub out as a concussion sub in the second half. My question around this, obviously Orlando has been like literally the talk of the town. They won last year. They won the Shield. They've been on an undefeated run. They've been truly unstoppable. And the Spirit is a great team too. They're near the top of the table, but with such a depleted team, how did Washington pull this off? Do you think that it's a signal that they have a lot of depth, or do you think this was more of like a fluke?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that it's amazing that they were able to weather the storm, because watching the game, Orlando was all over them for the majority of the game. And I think if you're Orlando, you're very disappointed in not getting any kind of point because they had so many opportunities. And then I think that there was like a keeper error, but also Washington's ability to just press them and like I said, weather that storm and continue to play even though they had a depleted squad. I don't know if this is something they're going to be able to like withstand moving forward. I'm interested to see.
Yeah. I think
withstand.
You said withstand.
Yeah, I did. And
I just was like, I don't think that's what you tried to say. I
meant withstand.
Withstand.
I
no, I completely agree, Lynn. I think that it's incredible. What it is to me actually is probably a sign of like good team chemistry and like a lot of heart to like pull out this win against all odds against a top team with a squad that would not really have been the starting squad.
And sometimes you have to do that.
Sometimes you have to do that. And that's such a great sign for the Spirit. I love that is here, but I don't know if they can withstand. I don't know if they could, if that's sustainable. I don't know if they need these players, they need them to get healthy. And so I'm a little bit worried. I am worried about, we mentioned the Spirit without Trinity Rodman. It was announced that Trinity's going to be taking some time away from the team to see a team doctor in London and have her back looked at. I just we talked about this a little bit last week about what Trinity said, or a few weeks ago about what Trinity said about maybe her back will never be 100%. It's like a management thing. And honestly, I feel really bad for her. I feel like she's so young. She's in this like incredible moment in her career. And I like don't want her to have to be dealing with this nagging back injury and having to go travel to talk to a doctor.
I know. I like feel for her as well. I think that like the best feeling in the world is when you're able to go out on the field and play freely. And anytime like you're dealing with some kind of like injury, you always have you're just guarded a little bit because you're like, I don't want to. In her case, she's like, I don't want to hurt my back again. And it obviously seems that her back is hurting her every single day and keeping her away of the game. And I feel bad for her too. Like I hopefully she like goes to London and they can find like a management or so obviously we don't know what's wrong with her back, but finds a something.
I know. I feel terrible. I do like send well wishes to all of these Spirit players who are injured. I think that the league will be better off when all of them are back and like for their own individual sakes. Obviously, you just hate to see people out for an extended period with injury.
Yeah. But sorry, this is like backtracking, but one person I was like very impressed with was Tara McKeown. I thought that she played Barbara Banda so well.
Yeah.
I think Barbara was getting very frustrated and just she limited her to a lot of opportunities. So I do think that even with the depth that they have and the injuries that they have, they still have like very bright spots on their team. And I think that is something that they could maybe lean into in a time when they don't have their full squad.
Totally agree. Love that you pointed that out. A couple other results. Utah beat Chicago 1-0 thanks to a PK goal from Hanson, Massachusetts' Allie Sentnor. That was late in the game. But Chicago, despite only having one win so far this season, they aren't even in last place because my sweet, sweet Courage are yet to win a game this season. The only team. They lost to Bay 1-0 thanks to a really great strike from Kiki Pickett. Lynn, did you see that banger?
Yeah, I did. It was nasty. And
it was really good.
I know I'm on Seattle right now, but obviously the Courage have a special place in my heart. I literally have a tattoo of them. And so it did hurt my heart. And it is
a special place on my body.
On my body, literally. And it's like hurting my heart that they're doing so horrible.
I know.
Like, and but like watching the games, it's like they're not playing bad.
I think sometimes it's just like the bounce of the ball.
And literally in this case, Kiki Pickett's ball did not bounce at all. It just went straight in there.
Straight in there. Kiki Pickett, that's the second time she scored a goal like that this season.
I know. People are going to have to start marking her on the top of the box.
Poor Courage. We're rooting for you. We know you can figure it out. But way to go, Kiki Pickett. Incredible strike. Then to wrap things up, San Diego dominated Louisville thanks to a incredible performance from French attacker Delphine Cascarino. She had 2 goals and an assist on 17-year-old Melanie Barsenius' goal. Delphine Cascarino joined San Diego last season, but she's really been leading the team this year. They've had such a solid start. She's absolutely cruising. And you heard it here first. Delphine Cascarino could be an early MVP candidate if she continues this run of form.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah, I think she's doing so great. I love watching her play. I did see her play live at one of the many games I've been to so far this year, and I was like, wow. Like, her ability to beat players wide, get crosses off, create chances, combine, turn, really, really great.
I love that for her.
All right, everybody. Well, maybe there's more hot takes when we return from a quick break. Welcome back to Good Vibes FC. This weekend saw the first leg of the Champions League semifinals, where down to the final 4 teams. On Saturday, Arsenal took on Champions League Titans Lyon in front of over 40,000 fans at the Emirates Stadium in London. But the home field advantage was not enough to get Arsenal the win, despite a pretty back-and-forth game. A massive goal from Melchi Dumornay in the 82nd minute means that Lindsay Heaps and Lyon will go into the second leg with the upper hand. In the other semifinal, Chelsea faced reigning Champions League winners Barcelona in Spain. Despite their runaway success in the WSL and American defender Naomi Girma being back from injury, Chelsea still fell to Barcelona 4-1. The game honestly just like got away from Chelsea at the end. It was kind of close. They were down 2-0. They got one back, and then it just like opened up. And now they're in a 3-goal deficit. Chelsea have made it clear that they're not giving up. And when they play in front of their fans in London, they'll be determined to make a miracle happen. I've been thinking about this all day and singing that song. Miracles happen once in a while.
Isn't that from? Sorry.
You were gonna sing.
Yes, you believe. Isn't that from Princess Diaries?
Yeah. So yeah, it's looking, if these results kind of hold, like it could be Barça Lyon rematch in the Champions League final. But Lynn, I wanted to see what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's what's going to happen. I think Lyon is Lyon and Barça is Barça, and I don't feel bad for my Nay because I love her so much.
I know.
But, I mean...
It was a tough game to sub into.
It was a tough game to sub into. When you're down 4-1 against Barça, that's a tough place to be at. I think it maybe if it's against a different team.
I know.
But yeah, don't lie down, girls. Fight. You got to fight for your right to party.
We got Lynn singing and we can't get her to stop. Arsenal is down 2-1 against Lyon, and Chelsea is down 4-1 against Barcelona. The final leg of the Champions League semifinals are this Sunday on DAZN, so I will definitely be watching those. Meanwhile, just across our northern border.
The border.
Or did I get a Minnesota accent right when I started talking about Canada? That was weird.
Canada.
Just over the border, Canada's Northern Super League kicked off with a big first game in Vancouver. The Vancouver Rise beat Calgary Wild FC in front of over 14,000 fans thanks to a big penalty kick goal from Quinn. We actually spoke to Quinn on the podcast last week, and they told us all about how much it meant to them to get to play soccer at home in Canada. History has been made, and it was awesome to see Quinn front and center. Also, there's a midweek NWSL game this week. I just wanted to let everybody know, since Gotham and Portland will both be playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinals on May 21st. Their first regular season matchup will happen tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. And it's midweek NWSL action, which is kind of a special treat.
It is. Marley loves a midweek game, and I'm like...
Well, I have this theory that all games should be on during the week.
Why is that the theory?
Because for my personal life, I want to watch a game at 5 p.m. and sure, 7 p.m. during the week because those are work days. And then on the weekends, I want to go for a hike and go for a kayak and go...
Okay, so how are we going to get any fans to the games?
I was just thinking TV. I was just thinking TV times.
So...
But that's a really good point and a really, really red flag for what I want.
Get it out of here.
Let's
Have
go
you
over
had
to
a pencil in your hand this whole time?
I do.
Okay, crazy girl.
I do have a pencil in my hand.
Honestly, like, if I was going to pick a pencil for you, that would be the exact pencil I would pick.
These are the best mechanical pencils.
Like, that's
Paper-made.
the exact one I would get for you. If you were
You
like,
guys
Lynn,
like
can you
these?
go to the store and get me some pencils? I would pick that.
These are it. These are the best pencil. Do you know that I love these, or are you just saying that because it reminds you of me?
I think I do know you love those, but like, even if I didn't know, like, that's exactly what I would get for you. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get this. This is what Sam wants. I just know it. I can tell. Okay. Thank you, influencer. Thank you.
Okay, let's go over to the inbox. We got an email. Unfortunately, this is not an inbox live like the live show, but we got an email in the regular old mailbox from Anne that says, "Hello, Sam, Lynn, and Becky. I love your Good Vibes show and look forward to every episode. My question is for all of you. If you were to take a road trip, which teammates, past or present, would you want to travel with? Also, where would you go? What snacks would you take? And what's on your playlist? Love all you're doing for women's football, and I love to see Sam and Becky transition to life after sport. Keep up the good work, Anne."
Oh, that's so sweet, Anne. Okay, well, I'm obviously bringing hard green grapes.
Hard green grapes for Lynn.
Some kind of chips.
Put the pencil down.
Jalapeno chips.
Yep.
Peanut M&Ms. Or Reese's. What are you bringing?
And who? Who are you bringing with you?
Well, I'm bringing you. I'm bringing Marley.
Yeah.
I'm probably bringing Kristen Hamilton.
Great. Seems like there's only one more seat.
Well, I feel like we have to bring Pat for boy, for Marley. But Marley's kind of one of the girls, you know?
Well, Anne did say teammates, but I'll just let it slide.
Marley is my life teammate.
Oh.
And you and Kristen were my teammates, so that counts.
Okay, very, very sweet. Anything specific on your playlist besides Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch?
Honestly, anything that we can like sing to, like sing-alongs.
Literally same.
I know. Like
Kesha, Taylor Swift, Celine Dion.
You love Taylor Swift. Like
I love Taylor Swift. Can Taylor Swift come on my road trip physically in the car?
No, she's not your teammate.
I
She can meet us somewhere, obviously.
Okay. I would bring, I already told you my playlist. Snacks. Sour cream and onion. Chips. Olipops. Nerd gummy clusters.
Yes. I see you bringing like carrots for some reason, though.
That's a great road trip snack. Popcorn, great road trip snack.
Oh, love popcorn.
I like anything that you can just like mindlessly snack on for like a long time.
Yeah, endless. Like whatever it is, it's endless.
Yeah, exactly. I think that like when a dessert is gone too fast, it's like devastating.
It is. It's so sad.
And who am I bringing with me? Lynn, Becky, Rose, Sonnet, Christy.
Sounds like a good group to me. I don't know if you have this issue with Pat, but when I'm sharing things like a food thing with Marley, I feel like I'm battling him for how quickly so I can get like my share of
Your
the
fair
portion.
share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you slow down so we can enjoy this?
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Like I get stressed. I almost have to like draw a line and be like, this is mine.
I feel that.
What is that? What's up with that?
I think it's just animal
Behavior.
It's just animal because it's just
They just do instincts.
They just do instinct, and then they're like, I gotta eat or else it's going away. Road trip, girls.
Where are we going?
We could go to wine country. I'd go to Napa.
Let's go to Napa. We're going to Napa.
We're going to Napa. And what a great question. You always know it's a great question when we like babble on and don't want to hang up the podcast for like, a while. Far too long. And thank you so much. Anybody can write us a question. We love questions. We love fun ones. We love silly ones. We love quirky ones. Send me an email, womensgamemib@menandblazers.com. All right. We have to do, this is a segment portion of the podcast. Sometimes we do Under a Rock here, but we already did that. Sometimes we do Sick and Tired here, but we might not do that one today. I want to just take one moment. I need to talk to Abby, a listener, an emailer named Abby, who sent us in a nickname for Fallon Tellis Joyce months ago called Blocktopus. Because, blocking shots, octopus, 8 arms, legs. I was in my brain, I knew last week on the podcast that we had a nickname for Fallon, but I kept calling her Octafallon. Wait, don't they call her Octafallon? Or did I just literally, doesn't she have an octopus nickname?
That would be perfect with their marine biologist.
Exactly. I'm wondering if I just made it up and I'm literally a genius or if I saw it somewhere, which I must have. I think it's Octafallon. I don't know. And that was wrong. I was trying to say Blocktopus, but I said Octafallon. So I'm just shouting out to Abby. It's an amazing nickname. I'm trying to help you get it to catch on. We're trying to make fetch happen. So thank you so much for the email. And then this isn't an official segment, Lynn, but it could be because I think we both have a skincare update.
Okay, well, this is my sick and tired kind of. That I just think that I'm sick and tired of having to do all the things to your face. Like, you got to wash it, you got to tone, you got to, and then who actually knows what order you're supposed to do everything in, and all of the things just to make sure we don't have adult acne. And it's just like, why? Why? I'm 31. Why do I even get acne still? I went through puberty already. Why is this happening to me?
I don't know.
And I wash my face all the time.
Do you ever think maybe you wash your face too much?
Well, I wet it in the morning and put moisturizer on, and then after training I wash it, and then to go to bed I wash it.
It's a lot of washing.
It's 2 times.
I mean, I'm not going to give any tips. I luckily don't get a lot of acne, which I know it will be annoying to some people, but I am very wrinkly, and that's where my skincare situation is coming in. And I need to share. This is not a sick and tired, but it's not really a good vibe either. I just want to share a skincare update that I have been using the phrase medical grade skincare in my daily life. And today the algorithm heard me say medical grade skincare, and it served me an ad for this thing called Dermatology under eye medical grade skincare. And the ad literally said the words medical grade skincare. And I was like, wow.
Wow, their phones are listening to us. So did you get it?
No, but it's inevitable that I will. I'm like such a sucker for an Instagram ad.
Same. They target
It's
me.
just like, you guys, you know me too well.
Literally, it's listening to you. So it does. But like, I want to go back. Like, should I be washing my face? Like, what am I supposed to do after training?
Don't ask me.
Well, you're the one who told me I was washing it too much.
Lynn, tell me the truth. Do you want skincare advice from me?
No, but I want you to accept me for who I am.
I do.
Acne and all.
Acne and all. Oh, that gave me a good laugh. All right. Well, we are nearing the end of the podcast, even though, as everybody can probably tell, we're dragging this one out. We're having too much fun together. Lynn, I would love to leave our listeners with a beautiful good vibe after we, berated them with inside jokes, complaining for about 57 minutes.
Okay, you go first.
Have I told everybody about my salmon dinner?
Oh, I'm having salmon for dinner today, so please tell me.
Okay. There's this girl on Instagram that used to play professional soccer. Her name is Brittany Wilson. I get served her Instagram videos literally all the time. She put up this video of this very simple salmon dish, rice, salmon, and then like ribboned vegetables, cucumbers, carrots, and peppers. We make this meal twice a week.
Really? Is there any
Pat
sauce?
makes this curry sauce. He gets this green curry paste from the grocery store. We mix in like about half a lime, some olive oil. We smother it all over the salmon. We bake the salmon. We broil it at the end so it gets some color on it. Lay it over a bed of white rice. Use the mandolin to really thinly ribbon and julienne some carrots, some cucumbers, and some like bell peppers.
I love this, but I do think we need to like have like a caution. Use carefully.
Mandolins are dangerous.
Use carefully.
Caution. And then over the vegetable salad, I'm making this sound more complicated now, but you can do the rest of the lime maybe, some salt and pepper maybe. Pat dumps some kimchi juice in there from the can of kimchi, the jar of kimchi. Maybe chop up a little kimchi into that. Literally incredible. Shout out Brittany Wilson. Thank you so much for the Instagram ad for me.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, that's my good vibe because I had it for dinner. It's incredible. I eat it all the time. It's such a good meal.
How long do you think you guys will be obsessed with that before you move on? Like how? Because like you can't think of a new thing.
It's like a
all the time.
hyperfixation meal.
Yeah, but I feel like I do that. I'm like I'm on.
Honestly, it's like just so much better than like my go-to meal when I was a professional soccer player was like literally plain chicken breast, Brussels sprouts, and sweet potatoes. And it's like, how did I survive?
You were pretty good at it, so I guess it worked. Okay, my good vibe is that we just got patio furniture for the patio, and
Amazing.
I'm so excited because I can't wait for now that the weather is getting a little bit better to be able to just sit up there, have a coffee. I would say read a book, but like let's get real, I'm not going to do that. But maybe I will. When the Olympics was happening, I was reading. You'd be shocked. And
that
just
for you.
be up there. I'm like really excited about it.
Yeah, you just want to be up there on your patio in your new patio furniture doing relaxing things and having a little treat.
Yeah, just like when you want to be outside, but you don't really have anywhere to go. I'm excited that I can do that now.
I am so happy for you. That's amazing. Congratulations. Where'd you get the patio furniture from?
Home Depot.
Oh my God, nice. We're actually in the market for a new patio couch.
They have a lot of nice sets and stuff. And somebody gave us a Home Depot gift card, so it made sense.
Nice.
I know.
Look at us, Lynn. We've come so far from 2015 in Western New York to 2025 talking about patio sets for our homes. All right, everybody. What a weird episode. What a bizarre day today was. Thank you all so much for listening. That's all we have for you. Please make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on social media at Women's Game MIB. Send us an email at womensgamemib@menandblazers.com. Reach out to us any other way you can conceivably think of. We love you, and we appreciate your support. This week, we have an interview with Wrexham's Ava Suckley dropping on Wednesday, and then another interview with the North Carolina Courage's Meredith Speck dropping on Thursday. So keep your eyes peeled, everybody. That's all. That's all from us.
I'm Lynn Biondolo.
And I'm Sam Mewis. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.